Hey everyone, Lone Wolf Jai here, and well, before I get into the recording of what I'm gonna do, first off, I actually did a little bit of grinding on the Dead Heat Summer race. Got the 9 million cube beef for the FGO slot. It was a fun thing to do, and it was just like, eh. Anyway, back on what I'm talking about here. We're gonna continue with Gotterdammerung real quick before we get into. I'm gonna take a break from, like I said, I'm gonna take a break from the Dead Heat Summer race to give you guys a Gotterdammerung video. Last we checked. Well, before I do that, before I logged into FGO for the day, I was watching the Japanese dub version of the latest Honkai animated short, Lament of the Fallen, and if I compare it to the Chinese version, they both, get me right in the feels, because it's, if you don't know Honkai, two characters become great friends. Matter of fact, there's a little bit of a thing where people think that they're romantically involved, and they're both female characters. I'm talking about their names are Kiana Kaslana and Raiden May. They're actually fighting each other on some rooftop. May has actually just recently gotten her hair shirt form. Kiana had hers for quite some time, and at one point she's learned to actually keep the Herrscher in check. Well, at one point she does enter the Herrscher form, while May is already in hers, and May blasts her with some kind of attack. She goes back to her White Comet battle suit, and May catches her, and she, at one point she says, "If rescuing me is a sin, I'll become a sinner." And then she says, "Farewell, Kiana." Chinese version was like, okay, but the Japanese version, just hearing her say, "Sayonara, Kiana-chan," and just boom, just taking off, it hit me harder. So a little bit on that. Anyway, like I said, I'm going to take a little bit of break from grinding the summer event. Let's get back into Gotterdammerung real quick. This is a zero AP cost, no battle quest, so let's go ahead and do this. If I remember correctly, we had Assault of the Demonic Sword beginning. So let's find out what's going on. I've always hated Sundays. Is it because I hate my father? No. Is it because I hate my mother? No, it's not that either. When I was little, I wholeheartedly embraced their dreams for me. I really thought everything they talked about would come true. I didn't need to hate them. I didn't even need much in the way of parental love from them. I believed that I would one day reach the sixth imaginary element, just as they wanted. I would be the one to make my family's long-held dream come true. I gained the power I needed to accomplish that. But even so, I hated Sundays, detested them even. I loathed having to spend all day Sunday at home, the home I grew up in, with my parents. From the time I woke up until the time I went to bed, it felt as though that giant ceiling was crushing me to death. I don't hate my parents. I respect them. I'm proud of them. That much has never changed. So then, what did I hate about Sundays? Report from the computer room. So far, this zero sale is looking just peachy. Just kick back and enjoy this little voyage through the sea of time. We've got 150 kilometers across. Our current reduced speed, I think it should take us about an hour or so. Fool? Uh-oh, somebody's not happy about this trip. What happened to all that bluster you were spouting just a little while ago? I know this is only our second voyage, but you should be used to this by now. Am I wrong, Gordolf? Oh, yes. Did you need something, Technical Advisor? Is it tea time already? No. It'd be better if we wait until we're back in reality for that. Assuming we end up somewhere peaceful when we cross the storm wall, that is. Given how bad Russia was, this area around Scandinavia might be even worse an even worse kind of hell. Stop saying stuff like that, Munyer. It can't possibly be worse than Russia. I refuse to believe otherwise. That said, this way of getting around really is beyond the pale. I'm a man of land, not the sea. Not that I'd hesitate to board a submarine to save humanity, of course. But this, I'd be better about seasickness. I may be better about seasickness now, but I don't think I'll ever get used to this zero sail nonsense. So you feel bad even though you're not seasick? Are you claustrophobic or something? No, I'm not claustrophobic. I don't care for this voice-based business. It's not something I'm just going to get used to. Let me be clear. Getting used in danger means losing sight of security. Oversights, betrayals, bankruptcy, victories getting revoked by judges, all those sorts of retributions stem from carelessness and arrogance. You can't assume everything will be sunshine and roses just because things happen to you to go your way once. Not to mention verifying the existence of void space may be a great feat, I'll admit, but be honest, you still don't have a clue what it even is, do you? Well, no, not really. I make it a rule never to get on any machine I can't drive myself, and yet void space is something only a tiny handful of mages have ever so much as touched. Just thinking about floating around there makes me... Oh no, I think I'm going to be sick. You say it, and your complexion tells me that you're feeling just fine, Gordolf. No, Mr. Gordolf, I admire your gumption. The rest of the staff are equally versed in science and magecraft, but you, Director, are a mage's mage. That is why traveling with the void space puts you so ill at ease. You are keenly aware of both the benefits and risks posed by the zero sail. Yet despite that, you are doing your utmost to remain calm and collected. That is truly keeping a stiff upper lip, as they say, commendable. You must have hit rock bottom quite a few times in your life. Perhaps you're accustomed to being in dire predicaments at this point. I'm accusing nothing of the sort. I'm accustomed to nothing of the sort. I've never once crossed the finish line in first place, and in last place, I'll have you know. Cross the finish line in last place? I never heard an expression like that before, Director Gordolf. Well, of course you haven't. Once you get to be a man of my caliber, Ms. Mosh, even the expressions you use take on a special life of their own. That's the first time he's ever addressed me respectfully. That's Holmes' way of playing a complimenting you, Director. I think so too, Mr. Holmes only ever speaks about what he's certain of after all. You got that right. That's a hell of a nice way to put it, Mosh. Oh? I see. So that's what that was about. If you both say so, you may be right. Woohoo! Ahem. By the way, Technical Advisor, what's our itinerary for this voyage look like? Huh? Director Gordolf, Da Vinci just briefed us about that right after we arrived in void space. We blacked out before we started the zero sail. Oh. I'm so sorry, Mr. Gordolf. I had no idea you had lost consciousness with your eyes open. What? Come on, Ned. Come now. Don't be absurd. I've handled the G-forces from accelerating to over 250 kilometers per hour. I'll have you know. I say, what about you, youngster? Yes, you, Solaria. You're a faucet. You frequently fall into REM sleep. I believe I even said you could do it standing up. If I'm not mistaken, is that some special skill of yours? That's right. He called the Solaria Remrem. Huh? No way. I was just kidding about the skill part. Are you people alright? At any rate, it seems you doze off just as easily as I do. Do you remember what the briefing was about? Perhaps now would be a good time to review all that you know while we were at it. Yes, that's a good point. I'm sorry. Oh, but as for Senpai, I think she went out to have lunch with Foe after we left on the Zero Sail. You heard the man, Da Vinci. Would you be so kind as to summarize our current situation for him? Sure, if that's what he wants. Okay, let's go over our immediate itinerary again. We've just entered the Scandinavian Peninsula, right around here. At the moment, we're still diving through the storm wall. On our current route, we should re-emerge here in Northern Europe, at the southern part of Sweden. I don't see anything. I'm looking at that looks like Asia and Australia, a little bit of Eastern Africa. It's only a 10-kilometer trip, but since we don't have any connection to Scandinavia, surfacing at our intended destination will come down to a combination of a dice roll and my navigational genius. And since I've got my hands full making sure our coordinates don't go fluctuating all over, we have no way of knowing if there will be any hostile entities on the other side. So I'll be ready for an even rougher emergency than the one we went through in Russia. So in other words, entering one of these lost belts inevitably comes down to the luck of the draw, eh? Just to make doubly sure, is there any way we could ignore the Scandinavian lost belt and head straight to the North Sea? Certain conditions need to be in place for us to emerge inside a lost belt, right? Then why go out of our way to do that? Even if we don't know the Wandering Sea's exact coordinates. If we can just get to the North Sea. I know, but I'm afraid that's just not possible. We're currently skimming right next to the border between reality space and void space. It's the only way we can peek into reality from void space, which we have to do if we're going to emerge somewhere we lack connection to. In addition, the amount of power the shadow border consumes in this mode is directly affected by the amount of real-world distance we travel. I mean, it would have to be, given that we're following reality so closely. And at our current power levels, there's no way the border can zero sail more than 300 kilometers near the mirror world plane. So we have to emerge in the Scandinavian Lost Belt if we're going to stock up for the journey to the Wandering Sea. I see. The zero sail business sounds good on paper, but it certainly has more than its share of drawbacks, doesn't it? Basically, if we want to go diving and emerging wherever we like, yes, well, we can't. Neither the border nor myself are up to that. At least not right now. Sorry, Gordy. Sorry, and sixpence won't even get you a decent cup of tea these days. Fine, you're saying you want a real lab with full facilities, right? Once we make our way through Scandinavia and meet up with the Wandering Sea, then things should improve at least a little, yes? You got it. I'm glad you're such a quick study, so as I was saying earlier, just kick back and enjoy the last bit of our voyage. We're currently off from real-world time by about 10 days. We'll emerge from voice base as soon as we're through the storm wall. So it's just like what happened in Russia. Then that would mean one of those enormous trees really is there in Scandinavia, too. Indeed. We can see it for ourselves before we begin our journey through the storm wall. If we just so happen to emerge near the Tree of Emptiness, we will need to choose between leaving Scandinavia behind or investigating the tree. Regardless, we will no doubt need to make our way across a considerable bit of land once we reach the inside of this lost belt. I encourage you all to remain calm and in control so that we may better react to whatever awaits us. I wonder if this lost belt anything like Russia's. Although when the Russian Tree of Emptiness came crashing down, it did so in a rather indecipherable... What was that? Why were those the radar beeps so loud? Something's pinging our current omnidirectional sonar. What the? There's something with a fixed wavelength moving around. Something with a fixed wavelength. Do you mean there's something else here besides the shadow border? Wait, what? Hold on, just hold on. You mean to tell me there's something alive out there in void space? Fo. Indeed. Under normal circumstances, nothing could possibly exist in void space, unless it were itself composed of void. There are exceptions, though, namely the all-terrain void transporter Shadowboarder, its crew, and the Paper Moon. And that can only mean there's someone or something else that can travel via zero sail. If there were, it would require technology that surpasses the Atlas's. I wish I could say that were entirely possible, but we can't rule it out. Da Vinci, are you seeing anything on your end? Your eyes should be a good deal sharper than ours. I'm sorry, but I got my hands full keeping track of the real world's terrain. I can't spare my cameras to see what might be near us. Oh, but I have noticed one thing that's strange. Shadowboarders have been running really smoothly for a while now. So there's definitely something out there in our vicinity. I just couldn't tell you what it is. Boarder's also got magecraft and spirit radars in addition to the sonar, so they're not turning anything up either. So I can't imagine there could be anything living in void space. I'm guessing it's soliton-like wave conduction, but we Director Gordolf? We're under attack! Oh, who was it that was saying the old man had gotten used to this stuff? He must be some sort of monster of servant or someone with the ability to zero sail. They could be anywhere. Yes, a distinct possibility. Well, Spewing mentioned along those lines too. As I recall, he said that while he was unable to freely move between Lostbelts, Koyanskaya could do so. It's difficult to imagine that she employs the same method that we do, but she may well have her own means of crossing dimensions. There, you see? You all saw Ivan the Terrible for yourselves. These Lostbelts are obviously full of monsters. It wouldn't surprise me at all if one of them was a rider with just that sort of skill. Do you even hear yourself? This is void space. This whole dimension shouldn't even exist. There's no way there could be anything here besides the border. A creature or hero experience with the ability to conduct a zero sail. I know Miss Miyamoto wanders between parallel worlds, but only in that she tumbles from one to another. She's only a drifter who keeps falling through realities because all other possibilities have abandoned her. There's no being in all of reality space besides us who can freely travel between dimensions. That at least was less Institute's Trismegistus said as of 2018. Still, it's not something we can rule out entirely. That we are here ourselves means that it must be possible for somewhere else to be as well. Wait, was it someone else? Or someone else, yeah. Could you have kept that to yourself, Holmes? You're just going to work the old man up even more. Fool? Did it just get even closer? Please calm down, Director. I know this may not be helping your mind by ease, but I think I sense something close. What is it? No, I don't think so. But strangely enough, I also don't think whatever it is malicious. In fact, I think it might even be kind of warm and comforting. Oh, come now. That's standard demon operating procedure. They bait their hook with kindness. Well, I'm not falling for it. I'm going to listen to my own instincts. Listen up, all of you. I have no desire to become an adventure-crazed nut like the rest of you, but I can see that making an emergency exit out of void space is our best option here. Therefore, as the Director of Chaldea, I am ordering the Shadowboarders to make an immediate emergency exit into reality space. Emergency exit? I want to take much aside here, but I have to admit Gordolf has a point. One thing's for sure, there's something out there that even I can't see. We shouldn't take that lightly. So my vote is for the emergency exit, and as luck would have it, we are very close to the end of the storm wall. That said, there's one thing I want to go over first. We've already crossed the border, currently in what used to be southern Sweden, somewhere inside the Scandinavian Lostbelt. But when we merge, the risks will be even greater than they were back in Russia. Cutting out the future predictions in order to force our way back to reality could result in the entire shadow border becoming a port. And it's not just the border. All of you can be seriously hurt as well. If yourselves 10 days ago happened to overlap with yourselves now, just having your bodies catch up with their own regulatory functions will be enough to make you vomit. Are you okay if that ends up happening? Of course, this vehicle's central processing unit. I'll be doing my best to avoid that. Of course, at this point, a little nausea is nothing. Just get us the hell out of here, Da Vinci. I don't want to spend another second with this unknown thing if I can help it. I'm responsible for all your lives here. As such, I refuse to continue a voyage in such close proximity to an unknown entity. Get the Shadow Board to the surface right now. Don't make me repeat myself again. Just hurry. Alrighty. If you're ready to face the music, I'll do my best to make sure it's a pleasant tune. Well, yeah, I'm going to switch over to manual. We don't want the safety functions of putting the brakes on autopilot. Are you serious? Doesn't that completely go against the manufacturer's recommendation? Initiating high-speed calculations. Preparing to merge in. An emergency alert. Everyone strap in. Take deep breaths while you still can. Don't worry about that alert. We're just putting a little more strain on the hull than it's designed for. Isn't that incredibly dangerous? Da Vinci knows what she's doing. Right. You're right. I believe in her, Senpai. Whew, I really didn't want to resort to this, but since it gives me a bad fever, this new, smaller body just isn't as resilient as my old one. I'll do whatever I can to help. Patch me into the console if you would. I'll help too. Thank you. I'm afraid I'm relegated to learning by observation myself, but the more hands, the better. If only Mr. Babbage were here to assist us. I hear you, but I'm afraid the Spirit Origin briefcase alone just isn't enough to summon him outside of short battles. We'll just have to make do. Man, wouldn't it be great if another Salieri dropped into our laps right now? Like, say, now? Damn, didn't work. Oh well, worth a shot. Guess we're on our own after all. Alright then, let's do this thing. Activating Paper Moon. Initiating Planet Navigational Chart plus minus convergence. Commencing Shadow Border's docking sequence into reality boundary. Disengaging Mirror World Plane Voyage. Through the stratum may dissolve, I continue to exist. Reapplying time flow attraction from reality space. 0.4 second difference between target coordinates and current recognition confirmed. It's well within tolerances, so we are good to go. Emerge from void space, 30 seconds control reality space. 0 sail complete. Emerging into reality space. Oh hey, it's iStark's new little bit. Lostbelt number 2. The eternal fiery, icy fire century Gotterdammerung. 1000 BC. Interesting. Okay. Alright, we are now in the new Lostbelt. And in the next fight, we're going to be facing Berserkers. So, that will be in the next video. Until then, this is Lowell Jazz saying thank you all for watching. Take care of yourselves.